Hey guys, welcome to Being Extra. My name is Jorge Gonzalez. I'm the host of your show. The reason why I'm talking to you guys is because I want to apologize ahead of time for the audio of this podcast. This was the first time we shot live anywhere and we couldn't find a good place to do it, so we had to shoot pretty much in a strip mall. And where we shot, there was a lot of ambient noise, a lot of people walking around, background music. So that is what you're about to hear, but still the stories are great. Working in Richard Jewell, working with Clint Eastwood, hanging out with the cast of Zombieland, things like that we're just going to talk about in this podcast. And don't forget that we're also on YouTube. So anything we talk about, we show it visually on YouTube. So don't forget to subscribe on YouTube as well. So here's the interview. Welcome guys to Being Extra. Jorge Gonzalez. Today I'm joined by my good friend Kevin Montgomery. How you doing, Kevin?
Doing all right.
That's good, man. I haven't spoken or seen you pretty much since the whole quarantine started, man. How you been?
I've been bored. I've been trying to just stay put, not piss away all the money that I've been getting from the UI. That thank God that they were able to give us, because we're not
We're struggling actors.
Yeah, but luckily we're not considered self-employed. So thank God that they're able to give us all that money. So yeah, I've been can't really complain, but yeah, it's just been I miss work.
Yeah, miss being on set. As I said on the show before, my last day on set before quarantine started was on The Resident. What set were you on before we got quarantined?
It's for a new show on HBO, but I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say it at this juncture.
Gotcha.
But let's just say, with all the crap that's been going on right now, especially since George Floyd, it is rapidly going to the point where that show is going to be really prophetic as to what's happening in this country. So that's kind of like the biggest hint I can give, I guess. Okay.
No, that's cool, man. Like, whenever a trailer pops up, we'll put the link right here, Right. So Kevin right here, he's going to join us in a couple more episodes. Whenever there's movie reviews, movie needs to talk about, he's going to come in. He's the resident 80s bad boy.
Oh, kind of going for the Cliff Booth Once Upon a Time in Hollywood thing, except
if Cliff Booth met the Breakfast Club.
Yeah, because red's more my color than yellow, but I'm a huge Stone Temple Pilots fan, so.
If there was ever a Breakfast Club reboot, would you audition?
I'll give it a shot, yeah.
I think you have a pretty good shot. I've seen your cosplays, man. They're pretty good.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that, because that's like, I accidentally kind of typecasted myself with that, and it's like, not that I'm complaining, because that's like, I've kind of pigeonholed myself in terms of being an extra towards that archetype. So that allowed me to have some of the most fun I could have on set.
Yeah. And
that all started from when I did Insatiable on season 1, and they called me to be part of like the criminals, and it was part of a visual gag for the Breakfast Club, and I got a surprising amount of camera time. And there was a guy that was actually supposed to be dressed just like Judd Nelson from that movie, right. But he's not in, like, as far as I could tell, he was not in any of the episode at all whatsoever, the poor guy. Yeah. And it was kind of cool, because when we shot that, and that was only like one of 2 days I ever worked that season, because I was in 2017, the fall of 2017, and Anime Weekend Atlanta had just happened, so I cosplay a little bit on the side, and I stick with street clothes cosplay. So I do something simple that I can kind of piecemeal bits and pieces of it with my regular wardrobe, and it's not going to look too out of place and compared to what most hardcore cosplayers have to do. And so, like, before that, I've done like Wayne Campbell from Wayne's World. So literally, I just have a pair of ripped up jeans at the knee, my old Chuck Taylors, a black T-shirt. So I just literally ordered the Wayne's World hat and went to MegaCon with that one year. And then, so in 2017, I remember that I had the Judd Nelson style hair, and had missed out on season 2 of working on season 2 of Stranger Things.
Yeah.
So when I did the Judd Nelson thing, like I had it all, thrifted everything together and put it all together, and it worked fantastically. And I got lucky with some of the components of it. And so, so when I went to the fitting and stuff, they saw that I had that stuff. And so on the day, they gave me other clothes to wear. Yeah. And I was really bummed out because they gave the guy the actual Judd Nelson clothes, and I had it with me like, but look, I got the stuff right here. I can do it. Let me do it. And so I rolled with it. I was with a buddy named Eric. He was with me on that scene, and we had a lot of fun on that day. And we just really played into it, and we got to play around with it. We kind of did a little, and I'm not to flex like the whole acting thing because we're just extras, but we played a character. We really did like have some fun with it. So that day, working that day was really fun. But you could probably see me, I think, on the second episode of Insatiable when she gets there. It's like the whole Breakfast Club gag, and that's they're in the Spanish class, and you see me like twirling my pen and my fingers and stuff. And in the opening scene, I had my boots right on the desk, like laying back, being all cocky and shit, and just playing off my buddy, and it was real. that was a real fun one.
That's good, man. Well, before I get into some questions with you, I just wanted to talk some movie news, get your thoughts. So I'm gonna start with Michael Keaton. You heard he's back.
Yes.
The original Batman '89, first one. Well, not first one because the first one, is back in black and white.
The first one, and then after that was Adam West.
After that was Adam West, but the first real legit studio film, Batman '89, Michael Keaton, Joker.
I love that movie.
Yeah, it's such a good. You wouldn't hit a guy with glasses, would you?
Oh, I love. That was referencing the Adam West one, and he just decks him anyway. Oh God, the Prince soundtrack.
So what do you think? Are you excited? What do you think about this?
I'm digging it. I'm just worried that because everything that DC and Warner Brothers have been doing is mired with development hell, especially with Flashpoint and whatever. I mean, I don't know whatever happened with Ezra Miller after that incident happened somewhere that blew up on Twitter, but it seems like they're kind of going forward with it. And so did the article say is he going to be Thomas Wayne if they're doing Flashpoint, or is he going to be Bruce Wayne?
They haven't confirmed it. They just say he's back as Batman, so I think he's going to be Bruce Wayne.
Because in BVS, I had Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Thomas Wayne. Right. And I really want to see him as a Thomas Wayne, the Flashpoint Batman, because he was awesome as a comedian. Yes. And Negan, so I don't want to lose that. That's too good to not use. But if it's Bruce Wayne, I'm down with that too. But like what Kevin Smith said, famously kind of proposed that everybody would kill to see. Right. I would rather see Michael Keaton as old Bruce Wayne if they were doing a Batman Beyond movie. And if they were going to do a Batman Beyond movie, they better get the same people who did Blade Runner 2049 to do it. That's true. Because you would make bank. It would guarantee to make a lot of money.
And Robert Pattinson is not tied to this at all.
No, I don't think so. Because I'm vaguely familiar with the Flashpoint stuff, so it's going to be like all the multiverse stuff. Yeah. So they can. I think I've seen some articles theorizing that Christian Bale, they might be able to bring him back as another type Bruce Wayne doing the multiverse thing, kind of doing the whole Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse thing, which
it is Warner Bros. So
they might pull out all the stops. I mean, let's see how the Snyder Cut, how well received that is, so that they'll get it through the skulls, not to screw with the production and not interfere too much, because that ultimately ruined.
I think the Snyder Cut and the Wonder Woman 1984 can set the future for the movies to come. The hype, If it sucks or if it's bad or if it's blah, people are not going to be as excited for, the Michael Keaton and the Flashpoint.
There's not much hype, but the movies, the past few movies hasn't really been, they haven't been real duds, because I remember enjoying Shazam when that came out.
Shazam was great. I enjoyed that. Standalone, and The Rock. The Rock,
there's Black Adam,
Black Adam, yes.
God, I hope the second wave of COVID here in Atlanta, because they're saying that he's going to film here.
Yes.
God, I really hope we can get back to work for that, because I don't want to be out of work and be, not be able to not have any money. So I want to get back to work and work on that to have some sense of normalcy. But no, it's like Shazam I enjoyed.
Yeah.
I really liked Wonder Woman. I enjoyed that one, and Aquaman was great. I enjoyed that one too. So they were kind of on a roll with things. I just hope they don't get a little too campy and try to beat Marvel. But
they can't be Marvel. I think they already know they can't be Marvel because
after Endgame you can't really.
But Justice League, we know what happened with Justice League. They tried to be Marvel. They tried to be like the Avengers too quick, too soon. And it didn't work. There wasn't enough backstory on these characters that we're finally getting a good backstory on Aquaman. We're finally getting a good backstory on Wonder Woman, Shazam. Okay, we know the backstory of Shazam. And it could maybe tie together for the future to maybe we really get to see Darkseid. That's what I'm hoping.
Well, they're hinting that with the Snyder Cut, there's elements of that. There was actually supposed to introduce him, but I think in the pre-production process, they even tanked that to go with what is his name?
Steppenwolf?
Yeah, Steppenwolf.
Like Steppenwolf was still the main villain of Justice League. The thing was that they were supposed to introduce Darkseid as like the bigger,
That's like the Thanos.
As the Thanos, like in Guardians of the Galaxy, you have Ronan, the Accuser.
Yeah, Ronan. That would have been Steppenwolf.
That's Steppenwolf and Thanos.
Darkseid, yeah.
Exactly.
But because kind of backtracking through the whole DCEU or whatever they call it, because apparently that's not what they use internally. I am part of the people who enjoyed the hell out of Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Could have been done better. The only tragedy is that we missed an opportunity of getting a really cool live-action Dragon Ball movie, because, dude, you can easily swap Zod for Vegeta, and that could have been the Saiyan saga, and the whole thing on Krypton could have been Vegeta, but, it's another thing. But I enjoyed that, and I think that's part of that has to do with the fact that that was the only movie that was produced by Nolan.
Right.
Before it went to Batman vs. Superman, and that one, I gotta say, they took way too. There was no reason why they needed to throw in all the stuff they did in Batman vs. Superman. Cause BVS to me should have been like Heat from 1995, Pacino, De Niro, directed by Michael Mann. Now that movie was just like a cat and mouse between two opposing people, like two people on the same wavelength. Yes. That's what Batman vs. Superman should have been with Clark and Bruce, or Batman and Superman, to be two guys on the same wavelength, where like when they meet at that party, it should have been like the coffee shop scene in Heat. Yeah. And they should have tied it together it never made sense to me why they would introduce Doomsday and kill off Superman in the second movie.
Thank you.
Like, why that soon? Like that in the comics, like when Superman gets killed by Doomsday, that was like a big deal. Like there was several months to like maybe a couple of years, I think, when they didn't have Superman in the comics. Right. That was like that's like, I guess similar to how everybody misses Tony Stark and with the Avengers and all that stuff, and the absence of some of the chief characters. I mean, that's a big deal. So that didn't have the same emotional impact doing that too soon, without establishing everything else. And then I think the cast choice with Lex, which sucks because I know Jesse Eisenberg is really cool in real life. I've had some. Yeah, he's one of those cool guys that doesn't watch his own movies. But man, when the rumor was that Bryan Cranston from Breaking Bad was going to be Lex, you have to cast him. There's no that sets the bar way too high, and that would have been perfect. But even then, they weren't really intelligent with how they could have handled the. Jesse Eisenberg being Lex. And I was watching it one day with my mom, and she even came up with some ideas as to how they could have redone the story to make it look more legit, to have a young guy like that be Lex and still kind of carry on in this. So, and then Justice League was a huge disappointment. So everything's kind of loosely tied together, but not really with Shazam. But there is kind of like an up curve with the DC stuff.
There is, they're all tied together. I guess you can say as well as X-Men was tied together. You get me? Like, it didn't follow like a linear story, really. Everybody has their own problems, their own things going on. It's weird. Like, I don't know. Like, okay, we get Shazam. Hopefully he plays a bigger part, because I've seen the, cartoons where Shazam fights Superman, or Superman helps Shazam fight Black Adam. Things like that I want to see. And as we know, Henry Cavill is back as Superman. Not as a leading role, but he's going to be a supporting role. So I'm thinking Black Adam maybe?
I hope I mean, they could tap into the Superman's weakness against magic, and that's as far as I can tell. That's
Superman is too strong.
yeah, he's OP. So like magic is like really his only like aside from kryptonite. That's his other kryptonite is magic. But I'm happy as hell to see Henry Cavill back. I mean, he's great, and he needed if anything the material suffered from it. If you have any complaints, but he's like a fantastic, and he's a great guy. He cares about the character, and he likes he has a genuine desire to stay as the character.
But once you're put into like a million reshoots, and doing this, and okay, now the story's gonna go this way, and you're like, what the hell's going on,
Yeah,
you kind of don't want to be there anymore. You're doing it because you have a contract, but you signed up for this, and you're getting this, and it's like, I understand with all the rumors and everything that was going on. I'm happy he came back. I feel like he came back because of Snyder. I feel like
yes, and honestly, Warner should have been more considerate. Honestly, if now having the benefit of hindsight, knowing how the Whedon how that turned out, and just how much of a dud it was in the middle of the busy schedule, right before lead up to like Infinity War. Warner Brothers should have been smarter to just delay the movie and let Snyder sort of take his time to mourn with his tragic family, the family tragedy that he had to deal with during shooting. They should have just put a hiatus on it, and that would have been.
It's the studio system, like New Mutants. How many times has that been delayed?
God.
Oh my God! Like how many times has that been delayed? And then Gambit, dude.
Oh yeah,
we're never gonna get that. There's no way we're gonna get that.
Well, to be fair, that never really made sense to me to begin with, to make that his own movie, because he wasn't,
It's because they had Channing Tatum behind it. So once you have a leading Hollywood actor like that, I feel like they can try to make it work. It's like, to me, it's like kind of like the Guardians of the Galaxy thing. Nobody didn't care about it. It wasn't the most popular Marvel comic, but it worked. So I think they were trying to make it work with Gambit, but it just never came to light. It never happened. It's one of those things where like the studio system, and they should have done that with Justice League, but it was way too big of a movie. Too many,
They rushed it. I mean, they tried to introduce Cyborg and bringing in.
Did you hear about the actor who did Cyborg? What he said about Josh Whedon?
No, I didn't hear about the specific. I only saw like thumbnails and stuff from
the gist of it is just that during Comic-Con he said, Josh Whedon is a great director, he's gonna take over the project and he's gonna finish it, and he's like a great guy. And then he's like, I take everything back I said. He was a horrible director. He was like a tyrant pretty much, he wasn't like easy to work with. And then he said, accountability over entertainment. Those were his. I quote that. Those were his words. Accountability over entertainment. Like making him accountable for the way he acted, and he did. I don't know, but he just came out with that. He took everything back he said about the way how good he talked about it. Maybe it was for the press of Justice League, but
yeah, obviously, I mean, you can't really.
The
studios will shut you right the fuck down if you start disparaging whatever project is coming up during the press thing.
I think it's because Snyder got control of his movie again, and they gave him the money to finish it. The actor who did Cyborg, he's not like
it's probably sticking to the original vision he signed up for.
Exactly.
That he exactly signed up for. That's one I think I'm scared about being an actor, because oh my God, before I would have given anything to be part of a Star Wars project. I mean, the Mandalorian people got lucky to be attached on that project, and it turned out to be so good. And even the Rogue One people, it turned out to.
Solo was okay.
Stop! See, I can't bring myself to watch it.
See, okay, Solo. Here's the thing: we had Star Wars fatigue. I'm not gonna get too much into it, but
not
Solo.
Fatigue. There's too much bad Star Wars.
I had Star Wars fatigue because it was like that, Rogue One, and then Solo. It was like, okay, calmate. And they also had to get.
They had to replace the Lord Miller with Ron Howard.
So Ron Howard stepped in to finish it. Reminds
and
me.
They almost reshot the entire movie.
Reminds me of Justice League, and then so you got this movie that's entertaining, but once you compare it and you had it's Star Wars canon. So I think that's the problem people had. But as a standalone movie, it was fun. But then when you tie it to that's how he got the name Solo. You haven't seen it, right?
I know this scene, and
You can't say it.
it's
It's-
why. Was it even necessary to even show you how he got his name? Couldn't he just have had that name to begin with?
Thank you.
Like-
Couldn't they just name him from the beginning, from when he was a kid? Han Solo? Han, last name. Don't have one. Traveling alone. Solo. So they know Spanish?
Yeah,
I'm out.
that's that. I mean,
They know Spanish? So
That's true.
Spanish is canon in Star
so
Wars.
yeah, so Spanish is. I mean, Space Boston with Bill Burr and The Mandalorian. I guess there's a Space Boston with that accent, and then
Space Boston.
in the galaxy far, far away. So yeah, I guess.
So
now.
Spanish, solo, which means alone in English.
What does Space Mexico look like? Is it all yellow tinted everywhere? You can live on the planet.
Space Mexico, just this big dust cloud of yellow. Once you step in,
I mean, it's so different from like Tatooine or wherever other desertous planets have had before.
and they probably had some stories there, but they don't want to show it because it's not politically correct. Probably like, "Ay Dios mío, es Obi-Wan," something like that.
So we Juan.
It's Obi-Wan. Oh yeah, that's the version of Space Mexico.
Oh god, it's such.
Oh god, we might lose a follower for this, but it's okay. I'm going from 20 to 19. It's fine. That's fine, no, but it's funny, dude. But getting into that, dude, just all these reshoots and things, man. It's crazy, and then that's why a lot of directors get in fights with studios. There's a thing called the studio system, and it just sometimes it works for Avengers, the way Kevin Feige worked it out. And then sometimes it just doesn't, man. And they get into fights with the directors, the producers. It's just this crazy thing, man.
And I haven't yet worked on a set where that has happened before. Not quite, I don't think. Not from the studio. I mean, there is some sort of like strange, but that's something. That's something I
Did
like.
you work on Godzilla, King of the Monsters?
One day.
Okay.
One day ever. Now I heard. Now okay. Never mind. I scratched that. I do remember that.
Yeah.
I do remember that, and that was actually. It's funny because I worked at the Fenway scene on that movie. We filmed all day in the middle of the summer, and it was so hot over there at the. Forgot the Saskatchewan nearby here, where we're at right now. OFS.
Yeah.
On the shipping container area, they made it all blue screen and stuff. But I heard so much stories about what the director wanted, last minute shots.
Right.
That would have would have required much more planning and stuff to actually shoot.
Right.
And they didn't have like the set itself wouldn't allow it because it didn't, like if you're gonna do a 360 degree, like Michael Bay, Steadicam shot, and an empty plot where they only just have like part of like a Chinook or Osprey, whatever the hell they were using, and then. Like make it some sort of like a FEMA evacuation scene, and filming in Atlanta for Fenway. They didn't have blue screen surrounding the entire set because they had to have a section so they can ferry in crew and equipment and all that.
Yeah.
And like anybody who's anybody on a set would know that you can't do that. You have to. That would take like 3 hours of setup to set all that up. And so like I did hear about that after the fact.
I was there. That was my whole 2017 summer. That was my summer. Godzilla.
Lucky.
It's the hair, man. It's the hair. They needed the short hair. But there's some things like Stranger Things I can't get because I like my hair shorter, and they're just like, no.
Again, that's what the Judd Nelson thing. That's what the Judd Nelson thing really freaking paid in spades because I was in season 3, and that was probably some of the most fun I've had on any set. Just because for the people that I met. And just how much we were able to play on that set. It was so cool, man.
How long did you work on Stranger Things?
Collectively, it probably worked like maybe a month and a half solid of that many working days.
That's a lot for shooting, guys. Like for the people who don't work in the film industry, that's a lot. Usually we're looking for work daily. Like we're usually looking for because we're considered pretty much freelancers, day players. That's what it's called in the industry, and it's like that means we get like a contract for the day. and they take out taxes from our payment for the day, not for the week or anything like that.
Yeah.
We get paid daily, you take out taxes daily. So to get booked for like a month and a half on the show is a big thing. And so,
And there's
was it mostly mall scenes? Or?
mall and the pool, the community pool. That was fun because that had a couple of reshoots because ironically it was rainy when it was supposed to be sunny.
Yeah.
And that fake rain on like one of the last days because it was supposed to get rained out sometime. Funny enough, I hardly watch anything I work on because I work on so much it's hard to keep up. But
Right.
you know, one of the last day that year I remember it was in 2018, and that year, the last day it was like in September, hell maybe in October. It was like early fall. They had like one last day of reshoot, so they recalled all the extras that worked that day. So I got threw on my short H&M style short swim trunks that I regret not ordering off of H&M because the next year they had a line there and they didn't have the same shorts that I actually literally wore on that show.
Damn.
And but oh my god, it was so nice because it was hot, lathered in sunscreen. Wow, I spent like half the day swimming, and it was perfect because it was like the last warm day that year before it started getting cool and staying cool.
Yeah.
And man, it was I was kind of sore because I don't really work out much, so it's like I was sore just from the amount of swimming we had to do.
Did you get a wet bump?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, guys.
Probably yeah.
A wet bump is pretty much when you get rained on in the scene. And there's smoke bump, driving bump, wet bump, things like that. So you didn't get one?
Nude bump? No, I did
Yeah.
not. I did not. Did not then, and then I worked a scene that I ultimately kind of regret working because it was one of the 4th of July scenes, but it wasn't in the neighborhood. It wasn't at the festival. And I was supposed to be with a partnered up because they were asking for like kissing couples. So I had a friend that I met that asked her to come with me on that for the bump because you get a kissing bump.
Yeah. Oh,
And we did. But that day, I managed to score $6 lawn seats for the final tour for Slayer that were playing that night in Atlanta. And I thought it was going to be a day shoot. And it turned out to be a night shoot. And I didn't want to bail on it because I didn't want to screw my friend over with that bump and all this because we went through the trouble getting fitted for that day. And we ultimately just did a whole lot of nothing, and that didn't even make it into the show. And just looking back and looking how stacked that lineup was on that concert that night, because Anthrax was playing with them, and $6 launch. Oh my God, that kills me that I didn't get to.
Did you get the bump?
Yeah, I think so. But it was just like it would honestly, for how to miss Slayer on their last tour and I'd never seen them live.
Really?
It was. I don't know how crazy those concerts can get, so like I was pretty safe getting a lawn spot, but I should have gone, man. That was the biggest bummer, man.
Oh yeah, it's one of those things where like you get booked for something good, but something better comes along, even if it's another show or another movie, and that happens to me all the time. So Stranger Things, you worked the mall scenes, correct?
Yes, almost all of them.
Let me just ask you very quick: was there people trying to get in that wasn't working?
Yes, there are a lot of looky-loos, but they had the area cordoned off. There were some people that were trying to get in, not because it was a set, but because there was one store that was open that had the indoor entrance we were blocking off because it was like an old atrium
Right.
that they were filming in that they turned into an 80s food court. And by I mean 80s food court, I mean if you watch the show, it's straight up 80s. We had some what they call bogeys, which is pretty much any unauthorized personnel on the set. That's when they do a lockdown and stuff, and they pretty much ruin the shot. That happens a lot in downtown Atlanta with homeless people and all that crackheads.
When they shoot outside,
Yeah.
it happens a lot. Like, let me tell you really quick without messing up the story too much. We shot Avengers Infinity War in Atlanta, of course. Homeless guy comes by. He says, I think it was.
Which
So it was. And it was Tony Stark, the Hulk, and the guy from that's with Doctor Strange.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
No, but the other guy,
Wong.
Wong. So some guy comes and he's like, "You know God, you know the real God. The real God's up there." And he just started screaming that, and they're like, "God!" And he's like, You ain't no God. You're no real God. I'm like, whoa, what's that fucking...
Oh, so it was okay, so I worked in Infinity War as a production assistant doing street lockdowns. I was like 2 days of that, which was a lot of fun, which I'm really happy for. There's another person that I knew who hooked me up with the gig, and another guy who works around sets around here hooked me up with the same gig too. So I might hit them up for gigs if I don't come up with many acting stuff. But anyways, it was in the Washington Square Park scene with where Bruce Banner's trying to get the Hulk out after where he splits the cab in half. He falls through the portal, and then but it was all second unit stuff, which means it's not the main unit with the main directors. They're just doing inserts for like stunt stuff. So that's like it's usually stunt people, not even the main actors working it. It's all green screen and the mocap suits and whatnot. So it was not that. But it was in the middle of downtown Atlanta in July. And we had to do street lockdowns, and we're not cops, so we can't really like detain people. We just have to politely ask, hey, we're filming here, so if you could just, we're rolling here, so if you could just hold up real quick, and then all right, cool, thank you for waiting up, And we had a fair share of like homeless people just loitering around and stuff, and on a set, there's always snacks hanging around and stuff. But one day, a crackhead climbed a sculpture.
No.
Right by the big Coca-Cola sign in this park in downtown Atlanta, and they had to stop filming for about 30-45 minutes because like the cops and the fire department had to come in to get this guy down and stuff. It was a trip. But yeah, so that's an example of a bogey, is like somebody running around in the background that's like not supposed to be there. So no bogeys on that mall. It was just people who were regular shoppers in that dying mall that happened to be passing by and asking questions, and you're never supposed to tell them what they're actually filming there, but we did.
I wish they kept them all that way.
Yeah, just so that, then they could have just made it like a tourist attraction.
Thank you.
To keep that mall alive. I mean, it's a dying. They're going to get rid of it anyway, from what I hear, to make room for a cricket arena. Yeah, apparently there's a lot of like Indian people around this part of town that they're actually fronting the money to build a cricket arena. So yeah, but not that it could though, because I think they wreck it at the end of the season anyways. So like they couldn't really keep it there anyway, and there's too many vandals. They can't really man security there. I mean,
that would have been a cool tourist attraction though. Like the Walking Dead tour, the movie tour in Atlanta. That would have been one of the cool stops.
But no, the following year, like the following summer, because it took a while after filming season 3 before it actually aired.
Right.
That they had. They still kept it there at the mall because we were filming another thing at that same mall. And the PA said, some of you here are working on Stranger Things, so you know what we're talking about, but do not go there. That is technically Netflix property, and they will prosecute you and all that stuff. So it's like, I think they kept it there, not just like a just in case of something they had to do, like reshoots, before they actually really dismantle everything when they know for sure that it's for sure done. Right. But there's no looky-loos, but... I think there's not a whole lot of guessing work had to be done because AJC sometimes publishes news as to where they're filming. They're pretty on the ball with that kind of thing. So they it wouldn't surprise me that there was security guards trying to stop unauthorized people getting on the set. But that's not hard to guess if you're not there because there's all the extras of permed hairs and 80s clothes just waiting outside the set for
I don't think
and holding
the style changed that quickly. Back to the 80s. But that's a good segue. You said AJC, because that had to do a lot with another movie you worked on.
Yes, yes.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Richard Jewell.
Which
that was.
We're not happy the way they were portrayed in.
With I forgot her name. The journalist that Olivia Wilde played. Elizabeth Scruggs, I think. Kathy Scruggs, I think that's her name. It's been a while. It's a good movie. Fantastic movie.
Great movie.
Kathy Bates made me cry a couple of times because I've been around like growing up in Texas and then living in Florida and in here and stuff. I've been around folksy Southern, families and mothers like that, and she really played that character well. So there was one scene in particular, man, that got me choked up because I could really feel the motherly, care and emotion from her. But so Richard Jewell, directed by Clint Eastwood, that should have made more money than it did.
They were dying. just quickly, they're like a dying breed of directors. You know, like with Scorsese and like directors from that era. Which I hope they make movies for us.
Oh yeah.
And I don't mean dying literally because of age.
Right.
No, not because of age. Literally because of the way the streaming services are working now. You know, they have to. Those type of movies have to go more towards streaming now because in theaters, you know.
Honestly, I mean, Richard Jewell could have easily been put on Netflix under the same kind of budgeting, and it would have made. He would have. I mean, so there's a market for that kind of thing because I like. And honestly, some of the Clint Eastwood sets I'd say are probably some of the best sets to work on. I've worked on them twice, like about 2 weeks worth on Richard Jewell.
And how was that?
That was okay. So if you've if you've been to film school, worked on movie sets, or watched behind the scenes stuff, you kind of have to get a vague idea as to how much goes into filming on location. And we have what's called cattle calls, which is like big populated scenes that require hundreds of extras. And this was at night, and they filmed at Olympic Centennial Park in downtown Atlanta, where the actual Olympic bombing happened in 1996, I believe.
Yes.
And it was about 2 weeks worth of shooting here in downtown Atlanta. So you know the traffic sucks. So I figured, oh my God, I know, because Clint Eastwood he's a real streamlined, quick shooter. He is. Those sets. Peak efficiency, every movie set should probably operate like his does, because everybody's on their A game. Yeah. And not because they want to kiss ass to. It's not so much that they want to kiss ass to Clint Eastwood, but because it's Clint freaking Eastwood. He's a legend. So not it's out of respect to him that everybody's just on their best behavior and they want to do their thing and really, really be on their game, because you don't want to let down Clint Eastwood. I mean, that's you want to do him proud. So everybody. So and. I could say that for a lot of the extras. We were all really well behaved. So those nights, it's a period piece of a terrorist attack, shot at night in downtown Atlanta on location. That's it's a period piece, meaning that you have to get everybody in period costume and hair and makeup and all that stuff.
Period costume, everything, and it was actually shot in the actual real location where.
About a couple of hundred yards, because they actually have a monument and stuff like that. But they did a really good job recreating it, because there was I met an extra there who actually worked as a volunteer, as the staff there the night it went off.
Oh wow!
She even had her on her lanyard. She had her work badge from '96. And a directory for all the pager numbers and stuff and payphone shit for all the people that were working with her company. She worked at the American Heart Association, which was just right around the corner from there. And she was lucky enough to talk to Paul Walter Hauser and Clint Eastwood, because she happened to be there that night that it happened, and she had left minutes before the bomb went off. She actually told me she stood a couple of yards away, 5 feet away from where the actual bag was, and she remarked how other people were leaving their bags here too, and there was this is pre-war on terror, but there was still unattended packages and stuff. I mean, there was still a threat there, I guess, because of Unabomber and Oklahoma City and all that stuff. So I guess there was still a kind of a threat in their minds about that. And so I'm getting off on the tangent with this quick story, but she had there was a concert, the band was meh. And so this guy, let's get out of here, and they got out early, so they were half a block away from there when some guy got out of a cab, and then they heard the explosion, boom, down the corner, and she said that's what they saw, and they just dived into the freshly emptied cab. They just dove in and said, go, 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 and they went to the neighborhood over there, by Ponce, I think the Highlands or some wherever, and then I'm not sure how this is her story, not mine, so I don't want to give out too many details, but she flipped on the news and saw it everywhere, because on the way back to her house, emergency vehicles just coming in going the other way where she was just leaving and stuff. Damn. And so that was really fascinating to talk to her about that. But anyways, so you would think with all those, it being at night, it being a cattle call in the middle of downtown, you had to park elsewhere by the World Congress Center and bus everybody on all these charter buses and stuff, and that's just it takes a while for all those big buses to move through downtown. Drop everybody off, get everybody signed in long lines, get checked in with wardrobe, get fed and all that, and then repeat that same process getting out.
Oh man.
Dude, with the exception of one night, because we spent most of the night getting rained out, every night ended within the 10-hour mark, just like any other night on a Clint Eastwood set. He knows exactly what the hell he wants.
He knows what he wants.
2 to 3 takes per take and moving on. And when they moved on, because you have to move like all the equipment and Video Village and all that stuff, in that park, an AD, I'm running a blank on his name right now, and it sucks because he's an awesome guy. But he, like, everybody loves him on the set, so he got up on the thing and just said, everybody, and nobody, it was a concert too, so you'd think everybody would be chit-chatting. No, everybody stayed quiet. Like every Clint Eastwood said, if you're just nice and quiet, it's not like a lot of shushing, like, everybody's hush voices, a dull roar. He'd get up, everybody, get up, we're going to move over here. They all did.
Like a conductor.
15 minutes, they moved the stuff. All right, everybody back to where we were, filming. 2, 3 takes, boom, cut. Do a few adjust angles, you swap out the lenses and stuff and do that, and then they move again. Smooth as hell. It was like...
Dude, when he speaks, you listen.
Exactly.
When Clint Eastwood speaks, you listen. And I'm not going to get on a big story. All I'm going to say is he is the healthiest. I think he's 88 now, 87, 88.
He's coming into his 90s.
Well, when I worked with him on 15, 17 in Paris, I'm just going to say he was 87. Healthiest 87-year-old I've ever seen. I remember he just wanted to see what the scene looked like from the top of the bar.
Oh, you were in that same club scene?
Yeah.
Dude, I was it was right by the not Atlantic Station.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Limburg.
Yes.
Limburg. It was this club that I've shot there a few times before for other club scenes.
Tongue and Groove or
Tongue and Groove, I think. Yeah. Not the Gold Room. Tongue and Groove around the corner. And dude, everybody was quiet, and I was with this chick that I was seeing. That's the long story, but anyways, but Clint Eastwood is the only person I see on set. I see people like, oh, that's cool. Cool. There they are. They're there. Clint Eastwood is the only one I get starstruck. I get like, oh my god, holy shit, that's Clint Eastwood. Holy fuck, that's Clint Eastwood. That's fucking Eastwood. Dude, he walked by, and he's not as tall as he used to be. He's getting up there, so it's kind of knob. It's like he was quietly, and he didn't even have much of a handler or anything like that to mosey on through the crowd. He was going there, and he made eye contact. And since my last experience when I eyeballed Sebastian Stan on I, Tonya for too long, I didn't recognize him because he came back from a makeup test, so I didn't know it was him. So rather than say nothing like I did that time, Clint Eastwood coming by on 15, 17, I was just like, I just made eye contact, and I was just, hi, and he goes like, hi, how's everybody doing over here? And he just kind of mosey.
You see, Lucky Punk?
I've know other people who worked on a set with who's actually spoken to them, and it's just like, before he goes, I want to talk to him.
Hey, but you gotta
He said hi to me, so that's.
You said hello to him. I just looked at him, and a word couldn't come out. I was just like.
But he has that twinkle in his eye and that smirk, that kind of that half smile that he does. That he's got that trip, and he's like that. He's having fun on set because he's kind of looking and not micromanaging, but he's just in it. And I think that's what keeps him active as being a director. Because if he stops too long, when you get up there in the years, you stop.
Yeah.
It's like age catches up to you.
But once again, 87-year-old hops on the top of the bar. My dad's 56, and he can't even hop on the bed.
Yeah, he's. I mean, he's pretty not spry, but he's just like he's not. He's got he's got a few more years. He's doing well. But yeah, there's a little bit of a smile on him when he's looking on the monitor behind the camera guy on the handheld thing, and he's just he's involved. He's old school, and he's.
Clint Eastwood, man. It's Clint.
It's Clint, and then they go so long to where they don't even get a meal penalty because we're not even broken for lunch. But they wrap early enough to where they feed us dinner on our way home.
Yeah.
And that's how it was every night on Jewel. And even when we didn't have to wait too long for the buses. It was just the only time that we had to go into the College Hall of Fame because it got rained out. And even in this massive tent they had, and it was a massive tent. It had its own giant commercial size AC units in there.
Yeah.
It's funny on that set. A couple extras that know me. She crocheted me in a little Afghan. It was awesome that she gave that to me. That set. Funny, I had a funny profile picture. The guy in this couple, he snapped a photo of me like this with my blanket on that set and my giant ass throne of a chair that I use everywhere on my on sets.
I'll try to post some pictures.
It's a magnificent chair, and it's kind of sold out everywhere. I want to get a replacement because it is getting worn out. But
His is small. His chair's huge.
this chair is actually a little bigger. I mean, it's probably about as wide, but it's bigger at the top, so I can hold my head up while I'm napping, so I don't have to have an ottoman for my legs. So I can just literally just do this. But because there's a lot of hurry up and wait on that on sets, so like you can have a lot of nap times, I guess.
But Clint Eastwood, man, that's one of the highlights of my background actor career. Meeting and getting to see Clint Eastwood, and you got to say hello to him. But just seeing him work, seeing somebody do their craft, it's like seeing Picasso paint, something like that.
And honestly, and by the end of those 2 weeks and stuff, the assistant, the key PA, the background guy that was in charge of all of us, he kind of relayed a message from Clint when he wrapped at Centennial Park, and he said like that we were the best extras he's worked with, and it's part of the reason why he likes coming here, probably because of the conservative values that's still kind of retained in Georgia, but also just because it's like we're pretty good workers. We're not prima donnas, but
maybe when we started, when the film industry started getting big here with The Walking Dead, but now people are pretty professional about it. I believe there's people that have been in this forever, man.
But I'm coming up on 4 years of doing this. Coming up November, I'm coming up on 4 years.
This is my 6th year on and off. I took a year or two off, but 6th year on and off. At least I'd want to get an actual like acting thing going. Well, how do you feel about? There's an article that came out saying that not right away, but extras are going to start to disappear.
That's going to be a sad day. I've met a lot of people, a lot of wonderful people on working here in Atlanta. It was like one of the best things I've done in my life is to move up here to work. And it's going to be sad because sometimes cattle call is going to be really fun. I mean, I had a blast on Stranger Things, so to think that stuff like that is not going to be possible anymore was...
Yeah, they're going to rewrite some scripts to where it has little to no people at all. So we're going to be fighting for roles now more. I will say, because the stadium scenes, the big crowded scenes, at least for now. Until everything comes out.
I think push comes to shove. I think Georgia's going to be the first one to be a little bit more loose with the rules compared to New York and LA.
Right.
Because we're a right to work state, so they have a little bit more leeway to do that with us.
They build so much infrastructure.
Oh, but not only that, with this COVID stuff, I mean, eventually it's gonna. I mean, we got a crap ton of new cases, but it's like. There's so much funky data going on and stuff. Like I think eventually that's not going to stick. Right. I really don't think because there's going to be demand for legit movies and stuff, and you can't fake that kind of production value.
It's not like for example, I was on Avengers Endgame. I got CGI'd, so they multiplied.
They scanned. That's what they did on I worked Infinity War twice, and the one time I did it was Valentine's Day 2017. I was on the very back of Peter Parker's school bus when you get the Spidey senses thing. And if we filmed all day for that day for only to be like 30 seconds in the movie, and it sucks because they cut my shot short because the camera stopped right on me because it was supposed to be like where all the windows come down on the bus. Or, holy shit, look at that.
Did you see the hair?
No, not even because I'm so far in the back of the bus, you can't even see me beyond the people. But like I was so stoked because I had good camera time where like it stopped right on me and I was supposed to be the chief reacting. Like, oh my God, look at the if Sam Raimi directed it, because I know Sam Raimi likes to use extra, money shots, reaction shots for extras. Right. He would have kept the shot of me in. I'm pretty sure that if that was a Sam Raimi thing, it would have done. But yeah, I was bummed out. But I got to say, I'd asked Tom Holland to see what was on his shirt that day, and his friend, I think. I don't know if his friend's name was Ned or Jacob. I'm from getting the actor and the character name confused. He was cool. He was cool as hell because he does. We're all gonna die. He runs to the back of the bus, and he goes to sit behind me on the back of the bus here, and he just kind of, and it's just like it. He was cool as hell, and I kind of just said, "Hey man, congratulations! This is a cool gig. I mean, now I can't wait for Homecoming. This is even before Homecoming came out, and I was like, dude, can't wait to see it." He was a real cool guy, and that day, Robert Downey and. Bautista, they both visited the set, and we were all ogling all those extras and stuff because oh God, it's freaking Rob Downey and stuff. And I was like, they were watching, and I was like, guys, we got to ham it up. Rob Downey Jr.'s here, so we got to really show. Well, yeah, but it was just fascinating to see him and the Russo brothers work with Tom Holland. That was a treat.
Exactly.
That was another day where everybody was on their A game and everybody had such a real good attitude. Nobody was an asshole. Nobody was complaining. No. It was just like everybody was
happy to be on those sets.
Yeah.
Even if you were deep background running away, or if I did 2 scenes in Infinity War, I was running away, and I was military in the 70s when they went back to the 70s.
Oh, you were there, yeah. I know.
And with Ricky.
Oh yeah, you were
Ricky,
with him?
who I've interviewed on the show, he's stand-in for Ralph Macchio. He was with me on Avengers Endgame, and we were both in the 70s scene. So we got to see Robert Downey Jr. hug his dad. And we were freaking out because we didn't know what was going on. Obviously, we didn't have a script. We just see Howard Stark, and Tony Stark hugging. I'm like...
Time travel?
Yeah, that's when we're like, okay, either this is a vision or it's time travel. And then eventually we found out it was time travel, but we were freaking out. We're like, is that Howard Stark and he's alive? And it was just freakiest, biggest spoiler, but still didn't it didn't ruin anything for us because we had no idea what was going on. They were really secretive. They take your phone from when you get in.
Some Marvel sets take your phone.
Oh, that one.
Some of them lock them up in the little security pouches. Some of them have they have this security tape.
Yeah.
And I still have one from my laptop from Ant-Man vs. Wasp because they had the little shield logos on it.
Right.
So rather than trying to handle all these phones from people, they just wrap the tape, these tamper-proof, because if you lift the tape, it says void, so so they know if somebody's phone got fucked with. But they just wrap it around the lenses on everybody's phone so that they don't
Can I ask you something? And then be honest, it's okay. Did you keep any little props from Avengers?
Avengers?
Yeah.
No, I didn't even work Endgame, man. I was so disappointed. I wanted to work Endgame.
Well, I'll tell you, I have a buddy. I'm not going to mention his name. I don't know if he wants me to. So we were in that 70s scene, right? And as we know from the movie, Peggy Carter is alive, right? In the 70s. We were military police. I'll post a picture. And there were letters. I think they were made by crew or, just set decorators. And it's intelligence letters or just reports, like military reports. And at the bottom said, Peggy Carter.
Oh,
so
man.
My buddy kept one. And when I was about to keep one, and I don't want to get in trouble for this, but I didn't, PAs came and ADs, so I didn't get to keep it. But he folded it up, put it in here. So he has a letter at home from the Avengers Endgame set, from a military report that says signed Peggy Carter.
He's got to frame it.
He probably has a frame. I'll ask him, but I can't remember if he had a signature or not. But at the bottom of the letter, in the typewriter, it said Peggy Carter. I was freaking out when I saw that. I'm like, this is in a way canon.
There's so much from sets and stuff that they toss out when a movie's done, but man, studios make so much money, or they can raise so much money for charity and stuff that they auction off every piece because there's so many nerds who want to have actual stuff from actual things that was on the set in the movie that was screen used that they would.
Yeah, I have a couple Walking Dead bullets, stuff
yeah,
like that.
I pick up shell casings. I pick up brass sometimes, but.
Well, let me switch it over a little bit from Marvel to DC because we can talk about this a lot, but August 22nd, there's going to be a DC fandom event, obviously online, but it's going to be a little Comic-Con, but only for DC things. New trailers are going to come out. Zack Snyder is going to appear. Rock is going to talk about Black Adam. James Gunn is going to talk about Suicide Squad, which we worked on, but we cannot talk about what we saw, what we did. But let me just tell you guys, me and Kevin
worked a lot on that.
We worked a lot, nights and days. We worked a lot of days, and it was a lot of fun. Everything we saw, like I said, we won't talk about it until it comes out. But
Dude,
oh my god,
I was so pissed that I wasn't there the day people got bumped. But it's the freaking hair because I thought I was going to be cast for one thing, and then they went to the fitting, and I was like, I thought I was going to be something else because I got this, and this is not for what we're supposed to be. And they didn't say anything about it, but I think I was too close to camera, and they saw my ponytail.
Yeah.
and they wanted the movie deeper for the other extras and stuff. So I don't even think even if I wanted to, I probably couldn't have done it. But it would have been in Spanish, and that would have been my second time of doing something in Spanish. And I was like,
What? I gotta ask you though, because like I said, we can't describe it. But what were your initial thoughts on the set, on both sets we worked on?
oh yeah, it was impressive.
Right.
I was impressive. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just pissed that I got passed up for the training for the. Oh man, because there were so many people who had the real shit that had no business carrying, because they were not being safe at all, and that apparently that had screwed us out of getting all those bumps, because now they had to pretty much move it to stunt people to do that.
And yeah, you know, you have these massive sets, and even James Gunn said they're some of the most impressive sets I've ever been on. So for him, the director of Guardians of the Galaxy,
I have so many stories to tell from that set. I hope I don't forget them, because there have been...
all the people we work with, when the movie comes out, I want to have like one of these interviews, and we're going to talk about everything we did on there. Like I said, guys, we can't not talk about it. Maybe if the trailer comes out and the trailer shows some of the things we did, we can kind of talk about how fun our experience was on there, but that's about it, guys, for now. Very hush-hush. You know, we signed contracts. But it was fun.
I auditioned for it. Met the guy who got the thing that I got, and I'm kind of glad he got it, because it was a bigger thing than I thought it was going to be when I got the audition for.
Yeah.
But you know, he's a cool guy too. But
yeah. But so DC fandom event, August 22nd. I'm gonna try to live stream as much as I can. I'm gonna watch.
I hope they show a trailer for it, just so that we can talk something about it.
I'm gonna be very attentive with the James Gunn panel and the Black Adam panel, all the DC stuff.
Having worked on that set, I can't wait for Guardians 3 to start.
Yes.
Because I really want to work on that. And I just want to say, oh, by the way, in my submission email, I also worked on him on Suicide Squad, so, you know, he knows me.
We did great. And that was a cool set. And getting to see some people from Guardians on Suicide Squad, and this isn't a secret. You know, James Gunn put out...
Oh, yeah, he tweeted a big thing with the big cast.
Yeah, with the big cast.
So
so we know that some of the cast, you know, from Guardians worked on Suicide Squad, and we got to see some of them, and it was just cool seeing them, and I thought it was a very cool set. So, Kevin, before we wrap and we finish this, there is a movie I really want to talk to you about. I really, really want to talk to you about, and I'm jealous. I'm super jealous. Zombieland 2.
Oh, wow. Yes, I almost forgot about that one. Yeah.
Boy, am I jealous. Man, you, not only did you get to meet the cast, you were the stand-in for...
I was the stand-in for Berkeley, the hippie guy, and that was man, that was such a fun set to be on, and my God, I kind of regret indulging a little too much on the rap party, because they missed me an opportunity to really talk to some of the cast and other people, but it was fun. But yeah, so this was last year, not last year, but the year before. Last year. And we were planning on doing this kind of like on the year anniversary of this, but then COVID hit and we couldn't really meet in person after a while, because we were all being really cautious about it. But so I got hit up by the people who does extra casting for the thing, and I kind of fit the guy to the T.
Yeah.
Avin Georgia, because I never saw. So like it was a big deal because of scheduling conflicts, and when they wanted to do the screen test or the interview for it to see if we were right for it, because it was like 5'10", like all of like brown skin, kind of slim frame, like same weight, you know, and then like long dark hair. So I was like, oh, I'm perfect for it. So when it came to where I couldn't get that day off for it, I was working on something else, and the casting person was really inflexible about that, even though I had somebody to replace me on it so that she had the same numbers. And luckily that day that ended up getting rained out, so I was able to show up to the interview anyways. Yeah. And I didn't even get any notes on what color cover I needed to bring for the test. Wow. And color cover is what you have to basically, you don't wear the same wardrobe because you're not a photo double, you're just standing. So you wear the same basic color scheme so that the cinematographers. So I came in and I happened to be wearing the same shit that he wore. Because he had like a white Henley shirt like I was wearing, and then like a burgundy like rolled up sleeve thing, because I wear pretty much the same outfit every, you know, again, doing the Judd Nelson thing, kind of just more putting my own modern spin to it. and it paid off. So the AD was there, and he picked me. He's like, "Congratulations, you won." I was like, "Yes, my first like full-time stand-in gig." And unfortunately, he wasn't in the movie for the whole long, so I didn't work as much as some of the other fellow stand-ins.
Yeah.
Because the stand-in for Woody Harrelson wasn't even a stand-in; it was his actual friend from LA.
Wow.
And this guy was a trip, man. He was awesome, and I was like, "Oh man, he would have been if I was working on location on a day that Bill Murray." And they would have paid room and board for us to go to another part of Georgia to film when they had to film somewhere else.
The Bill Murray scene?
No, the Bill Murray scene was done in a hotel in Atlanta, but I think he swung by there to visit Woody because I'm pretty sure they're good friends from their days on there from Kingpin, at least. And they're the first Zombieland. But I really would have been like, dude, if I get to smoke weed with Woody Harrelson and Bill Murray. But that didn't happen. But but that set was. That was a really.
What was that place called?
Babylon. Babylon has to be one of the most beautiful sets I've worked on.
I felt like an artist setting, dude. Just like
dude, it was. What's hilarious is I have no doubt that Babylon is what the Chop or the Chaz in Seattle was supposed to be before they blew it. And I'm going to leave it at that because I got a lot to say about that situation. But to compare it to that, that's what the Chaz should have been under ideal circumstances if communism did work, but it doesn't, so it didn't, and it just fell apart pretty damn quickly. But it was fun because it was a hippy dippy commune stuff, and they asked us to pull double duty to be extras as well as being like stand-ins.
And that's not heard of too much, guys. So
that means that we would have worked all day with no breaks and stuff. Because being a stand-in is a fairly cushy job, and it's pretty cool.
And I'll tell you something, guys. In LA and Georgia is different. In LA, you will get 2 vouchers. I mean, 2 different payments. Here in Georgia, it's like you're on the clock for the whole day.
The main stand-in for Eisenberg. He was the MVP for us because he negotiated us a fat bump.
Really?
When he got it, because they didn't say that wasn't on the table, but he went up and negotiated for us, and I made some good money that spring working at all those days and stuff. And
he negotiated you being a stand-in and an extra?
Yeah, to pull double duty because you're doing 2 jobs at once. Yeah, and it was good because we worked a lot of good hours and stuff. So on top of our standing rate, we got that big bump, that fat bump. And I met some fantastic people on that set that I was really lucky to meet, and some were actually very, very cool in LA and stuff. And I really hope to eventually work with them with my acting career, if my acting career does take off, which God willing it does. And it was fantastic. I saw Rosario, I saw Woody Harrelson, Emma Stone, and Abigail Breslin, and just like everybody. And funny enough, I ended up accidentally weaseling my way out of. On some nights where they did the barricade thing to do the bull run, the zombie run that he does at the end. And I was sitting in with another temporary stand-in, and they called everybody, but I must have not heard it. So I was like, man, they're not working. And so they had already started. They already did wide shots of everybody. So like, oh crap, they can't. I guess I can't work because I'm already established. They're established without me. And watching the movie, I was disappointed I didn't work it. But then looking back, I talked to people who worked that day. I was like, dude, it sucked. It was really damn cold. It got cold those nights. So I was like, all right, okay, in that regard, I get.
Another one of the hosts, Luis, he worked on that. So he was in Babylon. He talked about those overnights.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Oh, Luis? Yeah. I remember him singing on that, and it was just like, I really want to be a stand-in again. It was a really fun thing because I ate so well. Oh my God, the food.
How was it when you met Woody and Emma?
It was cool because on set, you're not supposed to. The rule of thumb is you're not supposed to go up and straight up just chit chat with the actors and stuff. But the first set that I worked on, was when he did the cutaway gag where he's in this warehouse thing when they first meet Berkeley, and he's playing the guitar. And that day I kind of wish I brought a guitar pick for Avin to play. But I was playing some stuff, and I was just playing some Alice in Chains Rooster or Plush with Stone Temple Pilots, just whatever stuff I could remember on the guitar. But Abigail spoke to her stand-in and would just come by and say hi. That was really sweet of her. And then I met Abigail's assistants, and they were really cool too. I kind of lost touch with them, but I kind of wish I kept in touch. But there's a lot of fantastic people on set. And then I've seen Woody hang around with one of the special effects guys and his family, because the family was on set, and they were playing cornhole. They're playing a round of cornhole in Babylon, and everybody was just doing. So like it took a couple of weeks to work day, and then Woody, when I met Woody on set, and the first day we worked at Babylon, he actually got a slutty vegan food truck because he's famously vegan.
Yeah.
And I'd already eat like a pig throughout the day.
You got a whole slutty vegan food truck?
Dude, that was probably the best burger I've had in my life.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Because I ate it cold when I got home because I was already stuffed to the rafters for it. But I'm also dead down when I got home that day. It was amazing. So thank you, Woody, for getting us that truck. It was fantastic. When he came up, he has that look in his eye. You know that look. But he walked up and he was chit-chatting, and we were all on our marks and stuff, and he was just like, they were shooting the shit before it was time to roll on shot, and we had to get out so that they take their spots to do some final fine-tuning and stuff. But he kind of walked up to me and he did these sort of have I met you before? And I was like, no, we haven't really, I've seen you here, but I've not. I was like, I'm Woody. It's like, I'm Kevin. Nice to meet you. It's like that trademark, he kind of looked that quizzical Woody Harrelson look, and that was cool. And then I saw Rosario. She was really cool.
She's super nice. I met her too. She's really, really nice.
Jesse was about Jesse Eisenberg as you can think. He's very Emma was really cool.
That's the one I'm jealous of, man.
Oh my god, that was
guys. I'm married. You guys know this by now, but man,
she
on the list. I'm just saying.
I got a little too.
Wait, sorry. Oscar winner. Emma. She's an Oscar winner.
Yeah,
She is. She's an Oscar winner.
Which movie? I forget. Which one was it?
I think La La Land.
Yeah. All I know is the first thing I saw her in was Superbad, and she was, total sweetheart, awesome girl. And so, and loved her in Easy A. But, so like we go to the rap party, which almost didn't happen, but apparently there was some drama that
Okay, it is La La Land. Sorry guys, I have to double check. But yeah, Easy A was my introduction to Emma Stone.
Mine was Superbad.
Superbad? Oh,
Yeah.
Superbad. But I guess I didn't pay that much attention to her until Easy A, and they're like, oh wait, she was in Superbad as well. So yes, I did see her first in Superbad. But Easy A was like, to me, that breakout role. And Easy A is like one of those classic movies, kind of like Mean Girls.
Yeah, Easy A doesn't get much love because everybody loves me. I still got to see Mean Girls, but Easy A needs to get more love because I thought something. I had a typical impression being a guy. I think it's going to be one of those. It's going to be like one of those teeny bopper type movies. And I saw it. I was like, oh my god, it's such a really good movie. I loved it.
Very well written. Yeah.
Very well written. Good for everybody. But it's at the rap party that almost didn't happen, which I didn't get all dressed up for because I worked that day.
Is that the first rap party you've ever been invited to?
Only rap party I've ever been to. And yeah, it was other people in the crew, their cast and stuff apparently made it happen because there was some stuff that had happened that made it almost not happen. So thank you to whoever did. I don't really know who exactly made that happen, but but thanks. I had a really good time. I was able to have some time to really have a cool conversation with Avin. Great guy. My biggest regret is that I didn't get to ask his email when he was done because he mentioned when we were on the following week on one of the last days, to stand in for him again if he ever is in Atlanta to do to work on anything. So
right.
If you're out there, if you're watching this and stuff, dude.
It's like The Rock and Robert Downey Jr. They have like their full-time stand-ins.
Yeah, and he was a great guy, a real cool conversationalist. Emma was already chit-chatting with people, so I didn't have much chance to talk to many people. Jesse had to leave a little early because he had a little kiddo, and as what would happen and stuff. I didn't get to talk to Woody, but he was passing around a vape pen, and I thought it was his. I could technically say that I got high with Woody Harrelson, but those vape pens, they took a harder hit than I thought. Apparently, I come to find out it was one of the stunt guys.
Oh, damn.
But if it's good enough for Woody to take to be puffing on it, But I took a long drag because those vapes are a lot stronger. Like I'm not used to it, so like that was gone for the last 2.5 hours of the.
Dude,
So that's why I look so fucked up in my photo with Rosario, because I was just like, dude, it was a miracle that I got home that night.
dude, and that movie was so good, man. I love that.
Dude, I loved it. It was so much, and I really regret not getting with Zoe with Madison.
Yes.
The pink girl.
Yeah,
I really regret not getting a photo with her because she was so funny in the movie.
I thought she was gonna be annoying when I saw the trailer, and then when I saw the movie
On the set, like it didn't, like it's weird how things work out because you're filming something, you're not feeling the material, and that's like you talk to any actors, they work on a movie and
Right,
they
right.
had a rough go at it, and then when the movie comes out, it turns out a lot better than they could have, and vice versa. They have a blast on a set,
Correct.
and then it turns out the movie is like crap, and it's just like it's weird how sometimes things work, but this was a case where like the material was just like on the day, but then like the movie magic. The movie came out. She was hilarious.
It hit so funny, man.
Oh my god,
She was a great addition to it.
That's another thing too, because they were talking about doing a spin-off with her.
Yes.
So if Berkeley and her are in a movie, please, Avin, I would absolutely stand in for you again on that movie. I want to. Oh my god. I would absolutely would.
But good movie. Maybe one day we'll sit down and rate it and talk about the Zombieland movies.
Yeah, I managed to get a photo with Woody. So the only person I got was with Avin and Rosario at the rap party, and then I was too far gone to ask because you're not supposed to ask for photos on set. But on the last day, they were doing a company move from the studio to a location, and at that point, they didn't need us anymore.
Yeah.
So one by one, I was asking, and I was like, "Hey, Abigail, like, hey, it was great working with you and stuff. Like, hate to bother you, it's like I didn't get a chance at the rap party. Can I get a photo for you guys?" Like, yeah. So I got one with her. Shadowed Woody. Got one with him. That was cool. That Woody Harrelson photo was great. I got one with the director.
Yeah.
He was cool. Cool as hell guy. And then I think Emma was already gone. I was like, all right, well, send. So I went outside to the van at Pinewood and asked one of the and I was waiting for the other stand-in so we can get ferried back up to parking to our cars so we can go home. And so I'm out by the vans and stuff, and I see, like in a small little, like a Honda CRV type vehicle, it was Emma loading up with her hair and makeup people. With her people, they were loading up. I guess she was driving herself. Cool.
That's cool.
And so I walked by and I kind of waved, and I was waiting in the van, and the other stand-ins weren't really showing up quite immediately. So I waited outside and stuff, and she was pulling around and stuff, and I waved a goodbye. But she kind of pulled to a stop and rolled down her window and leaned over out the passenger side because she was driving. She goes like, "Oh, hi, thank you so much, congratulations, had it so much." Oh, thank you so much. Like, I know you're busy and you got to go somewhere, but do you mind if I get a photo with you? Because I didn't get a chance at the rap party. He's like, "Oh yeah, absolutely." So I doubled back around to the driver's side because I just wanted to do like a quick little selfie out the window so she can just get on her mirror. Because
Yeah.
No, she stopped, puts in a park, she gets out, and we get a photo together. And I found a spot in the shade. It was a beautiful, crisp, sunny day.
Guys, the jealousy when I saw that.
And
picture.
I was talking to her, and man, she was just like, even more so, I regret not being able to try to, just sit down and really just chit chat with her briefly at the rap party because I didn't, she was professional, so she's kind of like not, you don't want to bug them while they're working. So I didn't have a chance up there during Babylon. But
the fact that she pulled.
She didn't even need to step, but she was such a sweet. She went to step outside and did a proper pose with me. It was one of my best photos on my Instagram, and because if you go to my Instagram, you'll see these.
Oh, where can people follow you at?
It's at Monty_117. That's where I am on Instagram.
I'll put it right here.
And I forget if I hugged her or shook her hand, but I go like, I had a blast. It was awesome to work with you. I really hope, it's just a God bless and all that stuff. And she goes like, I can't wait for this movie to come out. I'm so stoked. Thank you and all that stuff. And she shared niceties and we left. And that was like the very end of the last day. So I managed to get that photo with Emma, and she was wonderful. She was super cool.
Damn. That's
awesome.
That sounds amazing,
Awesome person.
man. After seeing that movie, I'm like, man, that looked fun to work on, and it's such a, because I remember when it came out, it had the first one, people had no expectations for it. People were just like,
Well, it was like the big zombie thing, and it's like that was a genre they can easily screw up because it was being so. Everybody was on, like college and high school kids were just zombie movies. You'd roll your eyes at that point. So Zombieland, you would think, after Shaun of the Dead raised the bar so high,
yeah.
you think Zombieland was fantastic. Fantastic. They didn't blow it. And with this one,
and the writers went on to do Deadpool, by the way.
exactly. So with this one, it's like, man, it's like 10 years. It's like been a long time. But they stuck the landing on this one too.
They didn't look that much different for 10 years. I'm just gonna say, except
except for Little Rock, yeah. But she was really cool too, and apparently she was really chatty with some of the extras at Babylon. And again, there's another person I kind of regret not talking to a little bit more. But she was everybody was cool on set. They're fantastic to work with. I really hope they get to do something else here again. Fingers crossed that they do the Madison spin-off with Berkeley, because they were hilarious.
We'll be getting more stories and seeing him around.
Oh yeah, also the Cadillac, the Elvis's Cadillac, that wasn't a mock-up. That was Elvis's actual Cadillac I got to sit in. Yes.
His real Cadillac.
They had us empty our pockets because they didn't want to have any sharp objects or anything like that. If we had a pen to puncture the leather.
Right.
It was, dude, it was like coated, like laminated, like freshly painted, like, perfectly smooth, waxed dashboard. It was like a steel dashboard. And I was sitting in it with my friend who was with the stand-in for Little Rock. And don't feel bad if I'm not naming. I'm just, I didn't really I'm trying to be careful not to name names too much on this. So if, so not, so I'm just being a little overly cautious. But I was sitting with her. I was like, man, this is like, dude, Elvis's car was nice. This was like, and yeah, it was apparently actual Elvis's Cadillac that I got to sit in. So that was cool too. And then they had a pretty good mock-up of the Beast, the presidential Cadillac limo.
The limo, yeah. But Elvis's Cadillac, it wasn't. They didn't just remake it.
They could have easily done a mock-up of it, or could have got like a collector to.
Or you could have just got like a Honda Civic, strip everything or something.
Yeah, you made a kit car out of it, but no, they got actual Elvis's car. God, I can't imagine how much that insurance for that thing would have cost for them to run it out to that production on that set.
Did the actors actually drive it?
No. So what they did, they didn't even turn it on. So what they did is that they had these, and I've seen ads for it, but they have these things that they look like the dolly wheels.
Yeah.
That they use on mechanic shops and stuff. But basically, it's like you roll it on the wheels. So it's like it's kind of like those wedges you put on like in a trailer and stuff to keep it from rolling away. But I've seen it done they roll a motorcycle on both wheels, so you can move it around. So you don't have to get on it and kind of tiptoe way back to move it around the garage. No, you can literally put the wheels on it so you can just move it and kind of move the motorcycle to the side of the garage to save space. They kind of had similar rig, I think, on the Elvis's Cadillac. So I think they only turned the engine on to mount it on it, and then they had it it was like on a trailer thing. So it was like, they didn't run the engine on it.
Holy shit, dude! Oh my God, that's amazing. You had the best experience on that set, from what I can tell.
And the food. The best food too, man. I've stuffed my face with a good crafty. Being a stand-in, I got the crew catering,
Sometimes they separate the food. Well, most of the time.
Most of the time to do.
Extras get their own food.
If it's a small set, if it's less than maybe 20 extras, they'll just let you have crew.
Guys, on Godzilla, we got the same crew food, and since I worked on it for a month, I didn't do any grocery shopping for the whole month.
Working full time as an extra, you save a mint on groceries. I swear.
A lot, and on I would say $18.
Oh my God, dude! With the restrictions because of freaking COVID, dude, they might not be able to serve food like that anymore because it's now box lunches.
Box, or they have servers. See, so
that's true.
One of the last movies, not the last, because the last thing I was on was The Resident. That was my last day before COVID.
Oh, they treat background like kings on that set.
Yeah, but that same week I worked on Red Notice, which is the new Netflix movie.
I didn't get to work on that one.
I'm not going to talk about what I saw on set, but I got to work on Red Notice, Ryan Reynolds, The Rock, and Gal Gadot. Anyways, the whole COVID thing was starting. and instead of us getting the food, they were serving the food to us. So we all kind of felt bad being like a little more, and then it's like it's a little, just, but that might change. But
they got a lot of Spanish speakers working behind, working a lot of cooking up the food. So being bilingual, that's like a cool thing because then you can ask in Spanish. Because
un poquito más, un poquito más, un poquito más.
Well, they just give us regular scrambled eggs and stuff, but I like the salsa, and they only have like Cholula and all that stuff for background. So I like actual salsa. So if there's a salsa bar, I'll just go there and like, ¿puedo tener más salsa para los huevos? Sí. Check sí, sí, pero no te dejas alguien más para ver. Because you're not supposed to let crew or anything see it, but they'll sometimes let me have the salsa because I'm not getting like a burrito made by them. I just literally need the salsa for my.
And then the crew comes and they're like, "Ay, Dios mío, es un extra. Get out, afuera."
But sometimes
and then we do a Speedy Gonzalez like, like, get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, but no. Sometimes the caterers are really cool. Actually, one of my first roommates works for one of the big creme de la creme catering companies. So he is my hookup when I'm on Walking Dead or any other show that he's working on. Because I say, "Hey, dude, what's up? What's up?" Because he lived when I first moved here. I was in a room. They Airbnb'd a room in this house with a bunch of other people that worked in the business, or a couple other people that worked in the business, and he was one of them. So that was that was kind of cool to see him on. But there was I got a bunch of stories. But thank you for bringing up Zombieland because I almost forgot that was like the main one that we were supposed to be here for.
Like the big one.
That was the big one. But now Babylon was. I snuck a lot of photos of that place on set that I uploaded on my Instagram, and man, there's like those photos on my Instagram do not do it justice. It was beautiful. It was like it was heartbreaking because we went to the same spot for Suicide Squad on the same back lot when we filmed out in Pinewood, and man, not to see Babylon there was kind of heartbreaking.
Well, that's how I'm gonna feel about Suicide Squad when they throw that thing down.
Well, one thing Avin told me about that, we were supposed to be on the ramp where he does a jump off for the bull running. There was a cool shot of me because I had my cool like black and white denim jacket with the fur thing, so it's like the white fur collar with the black jacket. And I was looking all badass and stuff. And Avin said that I looked like an X-Man looking at the monitor. And it's like I regret not asking one of the people that I met on that set that could have snuck me a photo. I forgot to ask her to sneak me a photo of. I don't think she was there that night, so I was like, man, can you please sneak me a photo? Because I want to look. Because you see the monitor, you see the set, it's a set.
Yeah.
But you look at the monitor and it's like, holy crap, it looks like a movie. It's like magic with the lenses and the lighting. Man, the way they frame it up, it looks like a freaking movie on the monitor.
And the way everything's meant to be shot, not vertical, horizontal.
You really and so man, when he said that, I was like, dude, I wish somebody got me a photo of that on the monitor so that I could have myself look like a freaking, freaking a young Danny Trejo, because everybody says that I kind of am. Or like a mini Danny Trejo, or
like the cousin of Antonio Banderas in Desperado.
It's another one that I've cosplayed as was El Mariachi. That was another good cosplay.
I mean, this guy, he can do it all, man.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of my dreams, to work with Robert Rodriguez. Oh my god.
I want to put it out there. Make a sequel to Alita Battle Angel, and I will do everything I can to work on that. I will make a road trip back to Austin. Because I freaking love that movie. I love Alita.
I'll be one of the townspeople, dude.
I still got to do my.
Oh no, but then we will have to be upper city people, right? For Alita too, because she's going to get the.
She was winning for the tournament, to go up there.
But well, dude, just to move on to the last thing, legacies.
Let's start from the beginning. The final season of the originals.
Final season of the originals, yes.
I'm a werewolf. If you can see, it's the Fenrir ring from Final Fantasy VII. Yeah, so
I don't work a lot on it, but the times I worked on it, I was always a witch. I'll try to find a picture.
Oh, on originals, you worked originals?
Originals, I was always a witch. But continue.
When it went from originals to legacies, I was just logically, because of my long hair and my Native American looking ass, because I'm Mexican, so I get Native American law and as far as I could tell, I might actually be closer to that than. Anyway, so I had a cool K-pop. I looked really cool, blue collar Native American out there for like, you know, or tribal werewolf, you know.
Yeah.
Night wolf, essentially, like from Mortal Kombat. And so, so I figured, okay, I'll just be straight. I'll werewolf it out because I had so much fun being part of the wolf pack on originals. And I didn't do my research because I had assumed that I didn't realize how underpowered those werewolves are in the show, or at least they weren't so underpowered in originals, but they sure as hell are in Legacies. And I didn't do my research because I didn't think. I was expecting Skyrim or Van Helsing style werewolves, you know, where you basically get to American Werewolf in London, where we get to like be like Ant Wolf out and really be a force.
Like a 10-pack.
I didn't think to research to find out that there's freaking Twilight style shape shifting. We just turned into a
dog.
Because I want to do cool stuff on sets. I got snubbed out of being able to do that when I was a mutant on The Gifted for the first season before they wrote us off. Because I wanted to be like a teleporter, because that's the power I gave myself when I picked it for myself. And even came up with my own name. But everything they did with werewolves on Legacies, it's all stunt people because it's all physical.
Right.
And I didn't do my research because I kind of regret an opportunity of being one of the goth witches. Because I got the long hair and stuff, so I could have been, you know, with all my jewelry, I could have been all relatively gothed out, at least just metal witch. You know, it'd be like his Ozzy Osbourne style sorcerer, like Ronnie James Dio, some shit like that. But I was a werewolf, so we're part of the jocks and stuff. They still have to keep us, but I didn't. I'm going to be honest. Wolves get no love on that show, so we get no opportunity to do anything cool, and it sucks because, man, and I'm not sure if I love working on the show because I love the people working on the show. I got some of the best, and it's a pretty set too. My God, it's a beautiful set on Legacies. But I gotta say, man, I really wish I was a witch, especially a goth witch, because it's all just CG. You just have to conjure powers and just, you know, to wave your hands, and it's just no stunt work needed. So,
Right.
And they definitely get more attention than the werewolves, man. We get no love on that show, man. It's kind of a bummer. I mean, but hey, you know, it is what it is, I guess.
Is that a reoccurring?
That's a reoccurring thing. Now, I might not look it, but I have just a week ago or a week and a half ago just turned 29. Yeah, I didn't know how old I was, right?
No, I didn't. This is the first time. This is an exclusive, guys. This is big for me. I always ask him. He never tells me.
I am 29, and I'm still doing teenager stuff. Like when I was on the first season of Cobra Kai, I felt like Billy Madison, because by far I was the oldest one. I was like in my mid-20s back then.
You were in Cobra Kai.
First season.
You were in the promo.
I was part of the Cobra Kai.
Cobra.
Which that was so disappointing because I got written off of that show because of scheduling conflicts, and I was like, I really wish I could have fought harder to stay on, because those kids got to work a lot on that show for the following seasons.
Of course, there's Cobra Kai.
But with more camera time, it would have been. I think it might have been obvious that I looked a little too old to do it, because I'm getting kind of like the little bit of the smile lines and the.
That's why I put you and me in the back. We're like around the same age.
But it's starting. Yeah, I'm getting on in the years. So as much as I love doing the young roles, I'm getting kind of up there. So like I could probably still do the college stuff, but the high school shit, it's like now it's getting to the point where it's like it feels a little weird, man. I feel like Billy Madison being stuck with. If I'm pushing 30, if I'm almost there at the 30 mark, and I mean, there's other extras and stuff that work that show that are like in their early to mid 20s, so I'm not like, you know, it's not all young kids, but just when I'm 30, I'm like almost 30. It's like, I don't know. So if they still keep hiring me for that stuff, thank you. God bless. You know, that's a fun gig, but I wouldn't mind venturing. I mean, I'm trying to get into more, even on indie stuff for stuff that's like more for me. For parts that I think are
real.
For my reel, I'd like to definitely want to start going into acting and stuff, because I've been told I'm a natural.
Yeah.
It's a fun gig.
Us as extras, we cannot even speak unless, you know, there's...
One time I've done.
One time.
On BET's Bigger.
Really?
And that was by luck. And I still haven't seen the clip because I had to ad-lib in Spanish. And I kind of vaguely know Spanish.
Yeah.
But hey, so you see speak, and that didn't help that I got different direction leading up to the date to when I was on camera.
Yeah.
So even with the crap that I've rehearsed, and I guess it came back to bite me in the ass, the fact that I still don't practice my Spanish because I want to get something like a Narcos or something if I am bilingual.
That would be nice.
That's another dream gig. If I'm not on a fantasy show like.
That's when we have to be traveling actors, you know.
Yeah, no, but if I don't get to be like a high fantasy Lord of the Rings style thing, you know, or cool cyberpunk style show or anything like that, or a cool war movie, Narcos is another thing that I would love to work on.
Oh man, Narcos, Sicario.
Dude, just something like that. That's why I don't know how to flex. But I got to brush up on my Spanish. But yeah, I got bumped that one day, and it was just by happenstance because I thought I was going to be. I thought I was part of a montage, but I thought I had like switched with clothes. I didn't have enough wardrobe that day. I was like, no, you're supposed to be speaking. Like, I got the contract. I still got to call SAG to see if I can get my eligibility card.
Yeah.
But dude, that sucked because people said I did great, but I don't have the courage to watch my own clip. If they gave me scripted lines in English to say, hey, can you say this, but in Spanish, I'll call my mom, run the grammar by her, and then start just like practice so I can get the enunciation so I can nail it. But they didn't, so I had to not only ad-lib, but ad-lib in Spanish. So I was like, I didn't want to say no because I didn't want to get passed up because I really needed the money because my transmission just failed that summer last year. And that saved me. But yeah, but we're not supposed to talk. We're not allowed to talk as extras, generally speaking. Sometimes people try to sneaking in if they're just let us go ham. But
yeah, and I've seen people. This is rare, so don't get your hopes up. I've seen people get bumped up from extras to speaking when they need something very specific, like on I, Tonya, the bailiff. He had to say "all rise," and they didn't write that in the script. They just needed somebody to say it. They gave him a speaking line. Tyler Perry is famous for doing this on his shows and things like that.
To his credit, yeah.
Yeah, to his credit. So it can happen, but don't go in with that expectation of, oh, today I'm going to be discovered, because they're really not looking at extras for the next, actor, the next big thing,
Sometimes, but very rare.
It could happen, but it's very rare. Yeah, they kind of, everything's very scripted. Everything, they kind of know how they want everything. They might want to add a line for somebody, which they do, but not to give like a whole role or anything like that.
But just being, I just hope. People say I still look like a kid, so I mean, so long as they think I'm right for the high school stuff, I'm down to do it. But I want to try being an actor and still do those young roles before age catches up to me, before I start playing people in their 20s.
Yep.
And I want to do some action-y stuff, but dream projects too, either directors or genre or,
Man, something very big like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And I mean it like on location, because blue green screen is a big thing nowadays, but the way they shot it on location,
Would love to film something more.
something along those lines, something that big.
I'd like to do something high fantasy if I get to if it's good. Heard mixed things about the going on behind the scenes, but if the Amazon series on for Lord of the Rings is good, I'll do it. I will do it if they do the Silmarillion and stuff justice. I will absolutely work on that. It's the same thing. For me, there's a lot of directors I would love to work with. Michael Mann being one of them. He's pretty demanding, I hear. But his work speaks for itself. I have the long hair, and I've always said that if there's like a dream project that I would work on that I would gladly cut my hair for. And not just like a buzz cut, but just cut my hair back short. But I would absolutely do it for a Vietnam, World War II, or Korea War style project. If I get to be part of an ensemble cast like Platoon or something like Band of Brothers, like something that great. Even if I barely get any lines, but still be a series regular and do stuff with the actors like Michael Fassbender was on Band of Brothers. He barely got any lines, but he was like throughout the series, throughout the season on Band of Brothers. Or heck, even something like Generation Kill. I would do that. Something like Narcos.
Narcos, yeah.
That'd be awesome to work on.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, it's good, and I hope I'm not miscast.
And like I said, guys, Robert Rodriguez, I would love to work with him.
Yes, him too, because that would be really fun. And out here he shoots fast.
Yeah. And if I ever get a chance, I could play young. I would like to play young Ray Romano. I could do it.
Yeah.
I could do like a young, like a flashback scene.
Were you on Blockers?
I was not.
There's somebody else that must have, but somebody's brother came up to me and told me that I looked like freaking Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker.
Yeah. By the way, big shot of Kevin on Blockers. I'm gonna try to look for it.
Oh yeah.
Before we finish, I just want to say I'm gonna look for it. I'm gonna try to put it on because it was
everybody I knew around here saw me in that movie.
It was with John Cena, right?
No, it was with I forgot his name, but he was in It was in Mad TV, and he was also in Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
But it was he runs right by me in the hotel in downtown. Like,
and he was like,
he just bumps right. He's like, what the fuck?
The fuck?
That was a good.
That was a good screen time.
Yeah, most recently on Sweet Magnolia, in episode 8 or 6, 8 on Sweet Magnolia. I was again. That was another case where I felt really weird being being there playing young because the kid that I was with, the main actor with whom I've seen on Creep Show, he was there. So I saw him, he recognized me, but it was just like, this kid looks his age, and it's playing the age of the character. But I got like 12 years on him, so it was just like, wow, I felt really weird. That was a good day, and I got a lot of camera time on that apparently. When I saw the clip of it,
That's awesome. Well, I'm not trying to look for that, but man, it's been fun having you here, man.
Dude, we could probably do a couple more episodes of this stuff. Probably what we've shot, but also just like like coming up with 4 years of experience.
Oh yeah, just like because
stories for days.
I haven't even got to talk about my stories yet, so we can have stories for days. We're definitely gonna have Kevin on a lot when movies come out. Talk about more stories. When trailers come out, hopefully. If the Suicide Squad trailer comes out, we're probably gonna come back and do a little at least our thoughts on the trailer.
Yeah, it's July 3rd right now.
Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please do not forget to subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. Please leave us a review. Give us a like, a thumbs up, subscribe. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Kevin, for being here.
Yeah, happy 4th of July, and remember to stay safe and be smart and play cool.